So this weekend was the 2026 Kalamazoo Comic Con. It's put on
Mm-hmm.
by the good folks at the Grand Rapids Comic Con. I actually met the owner of the Grand Rapids Comic Con
Oh, nice.
on Friday. Mark Hodges, great guy. He did a panel on Friday night about it was basically all the nightmarish scenarios for Comic Cons, and
Okay.
it was basically an hour long bitch fest for him, and the owner of the Capital City Comic Con was there as well, and just some just interesting stories about kids and flamethrowers and crazy people that cause trouble, and 99.9% of the people who there's me and my wife at the Kalamazoo Expo Center, um, and it was really interesting to hear some of the stories from Mark Hodges, and got to the next day I came back and got to see the Star Trek Starfleet International booth. Got to see Dan, friend of the show, at the Ghostbusters booth. Um, at the Kalamazoo, I'm actually going to be joining. I'm part of the USS Petoskey of Starfleet International, which is Grand
Okay.
Rapids, but they just started a new ship last year or the year before, the USS Cutty Sark, and that's based out of Portage, Michigan, which is a neighboring town of mine. So,
Oh, okay.
um, yeah, so the USS Cutty Sark is our local from Region 13, which is part of Canada and Michigan. Um, so they do a lot of charity work. They're involved in Adopt a Highway kind of stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of these like the Ghostbusters and the Starfleet, and even like all the Star Wars, all these groups, they all do a bunch of yeah, there it is, Adopt a Highway, the
Mm-hmm.
USS Cutty Sark. They do a lot of good for the community. And so if you're interested in joining one of these groups, they're international.
Mm-hmm.
Just Google Starfleet International. It's basically a fan club. The dues are like $10 a year. So
Oh, okay.
I go on once a year, pay my $10, and they sometimes they have in person get-togethers. Sometimes they have virtual get-togethers, depending on what
What's
chapter
going
you're
on?
in. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then the Ghostbusters were there too. Do you have that?
I do. You want me to play the video?
Yeah, yeah. So at the booth, at the Ghostbusters booth, I was talking to my friend Dan, and we had another guy demonstrate the containment unit. So
Okay. Yeah, let me play that.
All right, so what we have here is a Class 5 possessor that was over by the food area. It was eating up all the food there, and we can't have that because they charge us for all the food Slimer eats. So when we get a ghost, we bring the ghost back here to our headquarters. We open up the containment unit. We insert the trap. The light turns red. That indicates it's ready to be received into the system. So what you do is you lock the door, you set the entry grid, neutralize the field, and when the light is green, the trap is clean. Stored here in our custom-made storage facility. We would like to think it would hold them indefinitely, but sometimes there are certain three-letter agencies that come and shut us down, causes explosions. We lose our license, we get sued, we come back for a sequel in 5 years.
Great. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yep. You get your.
There you go.
yeah, so it's they go around to all the cons. I've seen them at Grand Rapids,
Mhm.
Kalamazoo, Lansing. It looks legit, that containment unit. I mean, they spent a
Yeah.
lot of time and money, and it's a really cool attraction at the Comic Cons. They got a lot of cool people. The Kalamazoo Ghostbusters and sort of the internet, their national fan base and fan club, whatever. They do a lot of charity work. They go to like um, we bought some merch from them, and all the money goes to like the local burn camps. We have a local burn camp here called Pretty Lake Burn Camp, and
Mm.
they do a lot of charity work with them. So
Oh, okay.
a lot of these places, these fan clubs that you see at Comic Cons, um, they're involved in a lot of charities. I've
Yeah.
seen them. I've seen them at like Talons Out, where older veterans are flown out to their memorials in DC and then flown back free of charge for
Oh.
them. When they return, um, they're greeted by the public, and I've been there as a Patriot Guard rider member, and then the Ghostbusters show up, and different, like these different organizations and groups show up, and the kids love them, and they really do. They're doing a lot of good work.
Yeah.
So, really looking forward to like I said, Mark Hodges, good guy, runs the Grand Rapids Comic-Con. They're going to be doing another show in Grand Rapids at the DeVos Place in November. I'm going to be there for the whole weekend, covering the whole thing. It's a bit bigger of a con. The DeVos Place is a bit bigger venue than the Kalamazoo one, but the Kalamazoo they put on a great show at both places. But I plan on being at the Grand Rapids one, and I'd really like to do a meetup. I know there's a lot more people in the Grand Rapids area, maybe that listen to the show. I'd like to do a meetup, maybe Saturday night, and just get together and maybe go support the Starfleet International booth and check out. There's the three ships that I'm friends with is the USS Cutty Sark, the Tecumseh, and the one in Grand Rapids whose name is escaping me right now. But good people, and they come from all walks of life too. Doctors, lawyers. My buddy Vern, I think he's an electrician. These guys are just big fans of the show, of their particular genre, whether it's Ghostbusters or Star Wars or Star Trek, and they really put a lot into it. So come out and check out these Comic-Cons. They're worth it. There's a lot of stuff for everybody. So
yeah, it sounds like a great time.
Go to grandrapidscomiccon.com for more information about the upcoming events.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. When you're with the ship, do you have a ranking?
So I'm a little new to this, so I don't know exactly how it works. But the more you're involved, you start out as just either a cadet or an ensign, and the more you're involved, you can get promoted. And the person that's in charge of the ship is the captain of the ship, and the person that's in charge of the region, I believe, is an admiral. So, then you're sort of in charge of like all the meetings and things like that. So, but the more involved you are, the higher you can get in rank. I met the captain and the commander of the Cutty Sark yesterday. So great people. Nice. So check out. I believe it's sfi.com or org. Starfleet International. Just Google Starfleet International if you want to get involved. So it's a really great organization. So
and so I just checked. We don't have any emails and nobody X'd up in the chat, so there's no listener feedback. So
all right. Well, I've got one more thing I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
So every day I drive by this new restaurant in town.
Oh, yes.
And it's a nacho place. All right. I love nachos. Nachos are great. But I don't, I just drive by it, and it's called Trekkers. Now, when I saw Trekkers, I'm thinking it's a nacho place. Trekkers must mean like they like to trek across the wilderness or something. This can't possibly, it's not a Star Trek thing. So whatever. I didn't give it a whole lot of thought. I thought I'm going to, check it out someday. But I'm at the Comic-Con yesterday, and I'm talking to Dan from Ghostbusters, and he's like, "Have you been to Trekkers?" And I'm like, Trekkers, that little place in Mattawan? He's like, "Oh yeah, the guy's a huge Star Trek fan." I'm like, "You're kidding me." So I'm like, I looked at my wife. I'm like, "That's where we're going to lunch today." So we immediately went there, met the owner, Chuck Black, huge Star Trek fan. They've got Star Trek memorabilia. They've comic book memorabilia.
I'm trying to find your photos, but it's buried deep in the.
Okay.
Yeah.
They've got, and they happen to have some of the best nachos I've ever had. And we're not talking about like ballpark nachos. We're not talking about like tortilla chips with some melted cheese on it. We're talking real tortilla chips. We're talking real queso, real cheese, real beef and chicken and all that kind of stuff. They've got themed. They've got themed stuff. I had my wife and I had the Captain America, which is sort of a milder version of nachos. It's all like white sauce, and they had blue chips and red, like pico kind of stuff. And my son had the Flame On, which is all hot stuff, jalapenos and stuff. And it was all absolutely delicious, great portions. These guys are great. I met him and his wife and their son. Their son's actually in the military. So it was it was really a great time. I enjoyed it. He sells stuff on Whatnot. So if you're familiar with Whatnot, check him out.